Heyo, it's me, Upper Savage, and it is day 2 of Mermay. So, let's bring out the sketchbook. Here's our sketchbook. This was day 1. There's a hair. This was day 1, and it was mirror. As you can see, we used the reflective chrome marker. If you want to see the process, make sure you go back to the first video. We got my handy dandy pencil, and we got our giant eraser, because if you weren't here for the first video, this is all watercolor paper, and I'm bound to make a lot of mistakes, and I know it's not easy to erase on that paper, so I got a giant eraser to help cope with that. What is today's prompt? Today's prompt is cosmic, so let's get to sketching. Always start with a circle. Seems to be my thing. Erase, 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 erase. Why am I struggling with eyes? Ah! Erase, 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 erase. Listen, you think I was joking about this giant eraser here, but it's getting the job done. Oh man, imagine the eyebrows. My next struggle. I bet you wouldn't believe me if I told you I came from like drawing characters before I was drawing all the floral stuff, would you? I was one of those nerds that like to draw comic book stuff and you know, later on in life anime. Like, how do I give volume to hair that's supposed to be like stuck to the head because it's wet? I'm debating on like having the tail in the shot or just leaving it as that, because I do have like a distinct feature for mermaids that I draw, and it's like the ears. So I think it'll be obvious that she's a mermaid, but I don't know. Maybe I'll draw like further back. I tried to draw it saggy because, you know, the fins are like very fine on fish. So I'm imagining mermaid fins might be. I'm trying to put logic on a creature that may or may not be made up, so just bear with me, okay? I'm gonna get rid of the tail. You're just gonna have to believe it's a mermaid in there. I was trying to go for hair was coming forward and hair was going back. Right now it looks like the hair is just floating. But it's supposed to be she's in the water and her hair is kind of floating above the water, if that makes sense. Let me get my liner so we can ink this and then we can start painting. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my Sakura microns because they are waterproof, and that's probably gonna be true for like all of Mermay. Just because it's a watercolor sketchbook, I'm planning on using watercolors or watercolor adjacent stuff. For future reference, this is what I'm going to be using for lining. At least like the first set of line work I do. If you're unfamiliar with my process, I do a set of thin lines, color, then I do another run over it with more line work. But let's get to inking. I went ahead and prepped everything between shots here. We got a little blotter sheet. We got some washi tape over here. I moistened my watercolors. Let's get to painting. Well, I realized that I accidentally chose the same color scheme as the cover mermaid, but that's okay. But it's time for the reveal. Boop! Here she is. The prompt was cosmic as a reminder, and I do like it. I wish I hadn't done the white spots in the hair, though. I tried to smooth them out and make them, like, duller with water, and it just kept on going, but I don't think it's that bad looking. But I like how, like, the water turned out. I think it's my favorite part. Ironically, this could have worked for the hair prompt tomorrow, because I focused on the hair stuff. But that's going to be it for me today. If you guys want to check out another mermaid video, you can go ahead and tap the thumbnail here. If you want to catch up on anything you missed, you can go ahead and tap the thumbnail here. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all the cool YouTube things of comment, liking, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!